Hi, Dave Dubeau here, and welcome to another episode of Canadian Profits TV. Now, for this week, for our business breakthrough, we're going to be talking about LTV. What does LTV stand for? Lifetime value. Get it right into that in a second. For our real estate tip, we're going to be talking about a myth that you need to work with a realtor to purchase real estate investments. It's not true, and we'll show you why not. And for our mindset minute, we're going to be visiting our good friend Steve Chandler and talking about owner versus victim. So stay tuned. All right, so for this week's business breakthrough, we're going to be talking about the lifetime value of a client. Now, this is a huge concept that took me years to find out, to learn about. So if you're just getting started in business, this is a really good number to know. If you've been in business for a while and haven't been tracking this, very, very powerful number to discover in your own business. So basically, what does this mean? This means, what is a client worth to you over the average lifetime of that client relationship with you? So for example, let's say, let's keep it simple. Let's say you're a barber and you're charging $20 for your haircuts. And your client comes in once a month, so that would be 12 times a year, right? And on average, you figure out that your clients stick with you for 4 years. All right, so 20 times 12, what would that be? $240 a year times 4 comes out to be just about $1,000, 960, is that right? 960, let's say, roughly. My math might be off. Derek, you can help me out later on. Okay, but what we've done here is we found out how much is a client or a customer worth to this barber. At $20 a month, 12 times a year, lasts for 4 years, worth just about $1,000. So what does that tell us? It tells us several things. First of all, tells us if that client comes in as in kind of a snitty mood that day, better not to be snitty back to them, because if you lose out, you could be losing hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in revenue. It also tells you that, it gives you an idea of how much you should be willing to spend on marketing and advertising to attract a client. So if you're being really, really cheap and you're only willing to spend $5 or $10 to attract a new customer or try to attract a new customer, and your customer is actually worth almost $1,000 to you, then you should definitely up your advertising and your marketing investment. Now, learned this when I had my company down in Costa Rica, and when I crunched this number, I figured out that my actual net lifetime value after my expenses were taken out, lifetime value of a client was close to $12,000. My eyes just expanded. I had no idea that they were worth that much to my company. By learning that, I decided to be smart and proactive, and I invested far more money in advertising and marketing than my competitors did, and did everything I could to attract customers and clients to me. I was not cheap. I was the opposite of cheap. I went overboard and just really, really pulled out all the stops to get new customers on board. Because I knew if I invested, let's say, $1,000 to attract a new client, it's still going to come back to me 12-fold. I'm going to make $12,000 on that customer. So figure out your lifetime value of a customer. All right, for this week's real estate tip, I'm going to be talking about a myth. A lot of people think that you have to work with a real estate agent or a realtor to do real estate deals. That's not true. You can use a real estate agent or a realtor as part of your power team. Highly recommend that you do, but don't put all your eggs in one basket. The best deals out there are with for sale by owner properties. Definitely, by and large, the best deals out there are with FSBOs. How do I know this? Because through 2003 to 2005, when I did my 18 flips in 18 months, I didn't do a single one of those deals with a realtor. I take that back. I did buy a property from a real estate agent. She was selling her own property. I did buy that, but that was pretty much the same as a FSBO. So you don't need to work with a real estate agent when you're doing real estate deals. It is very, very helpful, though, if you're a newbie and you're buying traditional properties, or you're going after commercial properties or multi-unit properties. A real estate agent is going to be a definite key player on your team. That's your real estate tip for this week. For this week's Mindset Minute, I want to revisit a good friend of mine, good friend of ours, Steve Chandler, who's spoken at several of our Fast Track weekend events, Fast Track super conferences. And his key concept is owner versus victim. If you can see Steve live, if you can read his books, again, Steve Chandler, fantastic, fantastic mind. I always enjoy Steve's stuff. And what Steve has determined is that we are all at different times owners, and sometimes we're victims as well. Some of us stay in the victim side most of our lives. Other people try to stay on the owner side most of their lives. And that's where we really want to focus, is becoming owners. Now, what does that mean? Because ownership basically means taking responsibility. It means whatever comes at us, we deal with it, we take responsibility for our part in it. Even if we had nothing to do, if it's a big problem that's been heaped upon us, we are still responsible for how we act or react to that. We don't do the whole, poor little me, the world owes me a living. I don't know what I've done to deserve all this hardship and agony in my life. No, that's victim talk. It's all about taking ownership, taking responsibility, and figuring out what can I do to create the kind of life that I really want to live, and how can I do that fearlessly. I'm in the middle of reading a couple of Steve's different books. Fearless is the one I'm reading right now. Highly recommend it. Again, that's Steve Chandler. That's your Mindset Minute for this week. All right, thanks for tuning in to this week's episode. For next week, for our business breakthrough, we're going to be talking about TCV. We talked about LTV this week, TCV next week. For our real estate tip, I'm going to be giving you a selling tip. If you're trying to sell one of your properties, this tip will help you sell it much, much faster and for a much better price. So tune in for that for sure. For a Mindset Minute, we're going to continue along with our good friend Steve Chandler and how to become fearless. And I highly encourage you, if you have any questions or comments, put your comments in the comment section below. Love to hear them, good, bad, ugly, otherwise. Keep them coming. We love them. If you've got questions, bring them on. Go ahead and send those to my good man Derek. That's marketing@canadianprofits.ca. Also want to remind you that the Fast Track weekend, the one and only Fast Track weekend of 2011, is coming up this June 11th and 12th in Edmonton. It's going to be a fantastic event. We've got the Rich Dad Big Deal Makers. Robert Kiyosaki's oil and gas partners are coming up for that. They're going to be speaking there. We've got Ken McElroy and Ross McAllister's #1 property manager, who's going to be coming and talking about how they manage their properties down there. We've got Wayne Palmer, a Rich Dad real estate expert as well as your favorite Fast Track experts as well. So check that out at fasttrackweekend.com, and we'll talk to you next week.
Yes, jackpot. You can hit a jackpot too. Just click one of the banners to the right and check out Canadian Profits. And get a free book too.